Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Elise, and this is 10 to Life, your one-stop true crime shop where we talk all things true crime. So if you are brand new and you've never checked out the channel or seen me come up on your YouTube before, that is okay. Welcome. I think you're going to like it here. I think you're going to want to stick around and stay a while. I hope so, at least. I hope you appreciate today's case coverage, and if you do feel like this is a channel that you want to check out in the future, make sure that you hit that subscribe button below. And for all of my returning 10 to Lifers, as always, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. You're the best. Oh my God. The case we're talking about today. I don't even know that I want to spoil it until I just dive right in. So all I will say is this: Menendez brothers. And I think you know where I'm going with that. So guys, let's jump right in.
10 to Life with Elise starts right now.
We are taking a quick break in today's case to have a word from our sponsor. All right, guys, so with so many streaming services available these days, I've got to say that Magellan TV is the absolute hidden gem of them all, hands down. Now, let me spill the tea as to why they are so amazing. Magellan TV is all about the drama of real life. Famous real-life cases, the lives of serial killers, the nature of the criminal mind, the detectives and victims who never rest until perpetrators are caught, and of course, the never-ending pursuit for justice. Magellan TV adds over 20 hours of new content weekly, so you will never run out of things to binge. And they have the largest and best collection of true crime shows anywhere, which is perfect for me. Last night, I actually finished Murdered by My Husband, which I'm not going to give you spoilers, but I'm sure you can guess what it's about. And let me just tell you, it was a doozy. Magellan TV is the best value of any premium documentary streaming service in both price and quality. 4K is always included in your subscription. And get this, there are no ads ever. No ads. Now, I know y'all like that. I also really love that they give back to the true crime community because they help sponsor my favorite gathering of true crime fans, CrimeCon. Give me all the things crime. And because Magellan is so amazing, they are giving you a free month trial. All you have to do is click that link in my description and bam, you are hooked up. Now, if you're thinking, okay, Annie, but I already have Magellan and I'm already obsessed with it, so what do you got for me this time? Well, let me just tell you. Magellan offers membership gift cards, and they are available all year round. But with the holidays coming up, it's just such a no-brainer. In fact, that's actually what I'm going to get my sister Amy, who is equally obsessed with true crime, just as much as I am. Which, Amy, if you're watching this, sorry for spoiling your gift, but also, you're welcome. So you also can give the gift of TV worth watching, whether it's just for a random Tuesday or for a last-minute holiday gift. It is so easy. So go watch, enjoy, and tell me what is on your list to watch so that I can add it to mine and watch it too. Thank you, Magellan TV, for sponsoring today's video and for giving all of my beautiful viewers a free month-long trial. And thank you to all of you viewers for understanding that sponsors are essential to the channel if we want to grow it to a place where I can deliver you more true crime all the time. All right, guys, let's jump back into today's case. Parricide is defined as an adolescent killing a parent or another immediate family member. If you've heard about the Menendez brothers in the 90s, then you probably know where I'm going with this. Now, according to the FBI, this is the rarest form of homicide and only accounts for roughly 2% of all homicide cases. And because it is such a rare occurrence, there are very limited case studies on the underlying causes or situational circumstances behind this phenomenon. Psychologists have defined a few characteristics for sons and daughters who commit this crime. However, there is a general lack of understanding in what truly causes this. There aren't any definitive telltale signs or patterns that an adolescent is at risk for killing one of their family members, which is actually really scary if you think about it, because it is a trait that is not only hard to identify, but in turn, hard to avoid. So the case we're talking about today is one about a woman named Michelle Roenz from Humble, Texas. Humble is a suburb of Houston where Michelle, who's 49 years old, resided with her husband Manfred and their two children, Brianna and Tyler. Michelle was described as a fierce animal advocate, a fantastic mother and wife, and just extremely well-liked in her community. Her daughter Brianna, who is now 20, graduated high school as valedictorian in 2020. She received numerous awards during high school and accolades for this, for her academic achievements. I mean, just a true smarty. And she now actually attends Baylor University in Waco, Texas. Brianna is currently a pre-med student and a math tutor. After graduation, she plans on attending medical school. And Michelle's son Tyler, who's 17 years old, was athletically gifted and a track star throughout all of middle school and high school. He had a true passion for distance running and excelled in the sports arena. From the outside, he seemed to have his life on track, so to speak. You like that pun there? I didn't do it on purpose, guys. Tyler's dad, Manfred, is also an avid runner, and they even competed together in various marathons. So while Brianna was away at college, it was just Michelle, Manfred, and Tyler living at home, along with dogs or cats that Michelle would foster until they had forever homes from time to time, because remember, she was an avid animal lover. So from the outside looking in, this family seemed to have it all. 2 extremely smart and talented children, a loving marriage, a beautiful home, just a beautiful life together. What could possibly go wrong, right? Well, that beautiful life all came to an abrupt stop in October of this year. On Thursday, October 13th, Manfred came home around noon and quickly realized that nobody was home. He checked the garage and he saw that Michelle's car, which was a black Mazda 3, was gone. So he called Tyler and his wife Michelle multiple times, but neither of them answered the phone. Now, Manfred allowed Tyler to drive Michelle's car, but only to go to school, which he attends Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And this day was a Thursday. So Manfred was puzzled while he stood in the garage when he then saw something that would completely change his entire life as he knew it. Manfred immediately called the police to report his wife and son is missing. And before police arrived, Manfred found his wife's purse and cell phone inside the house. He tried to track Tyler's location on the My360 app, but quickly realized that Tyler had turned off his location and deleted the app from his phone. Upon arriving at the scene and speaking with Manfred, police declared the situation for a clear alert.
I just spoke with Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez minutes ago. He tells me they are still actively searching for this missing mom and son who were last seen here along Birch Arbor Court. The 2 live here in the Fall Creek neighborhood in Humble. Now take a good look at your screens right now. This is missing mom, 49-year-old Michelle Roenz, and her 17-year-old son, Tyler Roenz. Deputies say the 2 were last seen just before noon Thursday. Hours later, authorities issued a statewide clear alert saying they believe, quote, the disappearances pose a credible threat to their own health and safety. The sheriff's office pushing out that info using reader boards like these along the highway showing clear alerts, which is a statewide alert used to help find missing endangered adults. Now, deputies believe mom and son may be in a black 2011 Mazda 3 sedan, similar to the one you see there on your screen, with Texas plate PGP 2413. Deputies believe Tyler is driving and mom is with him. Now back out here live. Right now we do not know the circumstances leading up to their disappearance. We're working to get that information. Meanwhile, if you have any info about their whereabouts, call 911.
Surveillance footage from the home security system showed the car leave at 11:44 a.m. on Thursday, right before Manfred got home. He told the police that he wished to file charges against Tyler for taking the vehicle without his permission. So while everyone was searching for where Tyler and Michelle could be, Michelle's credit card was pinged throughout different parts of North Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. On Friday afternoon, troopers with Nebraska State Patrol spotted the Mazda and attempted to pull the vehicle over. The driver of the car did not pull over, sped away, and led police on an 8-mile pursuit, reaching speeds up to 110 miles per hour. The vehicle crashed, and that is what ultimately ended the chase. Now, allegedly, the car had tried to slow down before hitting a semi-truck and then a tree. And it turns out Tyler was the one driving the vehicle, and he was immediately taken to the hospital and in critical condition. Police were initially confused because Tyler appeared to be completely alone. There was nobody in the passenger seat or in the back seat of the Mazda. So where was his mother, Michelle? Upon further investigation of the vehicle, Nebraska state troopers found Michelle in the trunk of the car, deceased. Now, they didn't release any other details at the time except saying that they believed that this was a homicide. Additionally, they planned to extradite Tyler to Texas once he was released from the hospital. Now, the news of Tyler's arrest and Michelle's death was absolutely mind-blowing to friends and to the entire family. Everybody was shocked and truly just horrified. Nothing made any sense about how this happened.
Tom, classmates tell me that he was an athlete. He kept to himself, but they really would have never expected something like this.
I was really surprised because I didn't think that, that Tyler that I've talked to would end up doing something crazy.
One of Tyler's former classmates, wishing to stay anonymous, shocked after learning that Tyler and his mother were reported missing on Thursday. Tyler's former classmate says they used to work at a movie theater together.
One of my coworkers, whenever I first started working there, told me just to be careful around him. That's it. Didn't specify why.
Mere days after finding Tyler and Michelle, court records revealed disturbing and horrifying details about what happened the day that they went missing. Now, as I said earlier, Michelle's husband saw something on the ground in the garage before immediately calling the police. As he inspected further before picking up the object, he realized that it was a human tooth. He also saw a little bit of blood. Then he noticed a small blood trail that he had not seen before. He followed the path of blood, which led him inside the house and into the master bedroom, where he saw a large pool of blood and 4 other missing teeth. 5 teeth and a large pool of blood, with your son and your wife nowhere to be found. Can you even imagine the thought that must have run through his head while trying to understand what exactly he was looking at? I mean, he must have just been entirely freaked out, heartbroken, and just scared to his core. And I wonder if he immediately thought that Tyler was responsible or thought that maybe there was another explanation. Tyler was still in the hospital while a Texas judge filed the unauthorized use of a vehicle charge against him. Now, this charge wasn't enough to keep Tyler in custody once he returned home. However, court records revealed that Tyler was a little more mysterious and twisted than this track star facade he had led and, worn as a mask to everybody.
Tonight, we're learning more about the teenager from Humble whose mother's body was found inside the trunk of his car. Last Thursday, 17-year-old Tyler Roenz and his mother were reported missing from their Humble home after his father reported finding a bloody scene inside the home. Lauren Tallarico joining us now with the new details. Lauren?
Tyler Roenz is still in Nebraska. He was hurt after leading police on a chase and crashing. Now, he isn't charged with his mom's murder yet, but sources tell me that charge is likely coming. Today, we also learned the details about a violent felony charge from a few months ago that Tyler was facing, this one involving a young woman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Roenz.
This is 17-year-old Tyler Roenz in court back in April.
Sir, you're charged with a third-degree felony.
Charged with attempted of a girl from North Shore Senior High School.
Yes, sir.
Court documents show he picked her up from school back in February.
The officer did observe the defendant to be bleeding heavily.
His bond was set at $15,000 and he was let out. Now he's linked to another crime, this one involving his mother, Michelle.
This mother and son disappeared under very suspicious circumstances.
Court documents show on October 13th, Tyler's father came home at noon to find what looked like a human tooth in the garage and a trail of blood to the master bedroom. That's where he reported a pool of blood and 4 more teeth, calling authorities saying both his wife and son were missing, along with Michelle's Mazda. But documents show Michelle's credit card revealed a trail of gas station stops all the way through Kansas. The next day, the Mazda was spotted in Nebraska. After a high-speed chase, Tyler crashed, his mother's body discovered in the trunk. Tyler was taken to the hospital for injuries, but the Harris County Sheriff's Office says once he's recovered, he'll be brought back to Harris County, where he'll once again face a judge, this time likely for murder. A source tells me that charge is expected following a further investigation and then the DA signing off. As far as how Michelle Roenz died, that information hasn't been released.
The victim was an 18-year-old woman. Allegedly, after pulling her hair, punching her face, ripping off her clothing and bra, biting her, attempting to forcefully remove her pants and touch her near her pelvic region through her clothes, Tyler still was not done. The woman showed police a cell phone video of Tyler kicking her in the face while she stood outside the vehicle topless. The victim was transported to an urgent care and had to get stitches on her face. Later, it was revealed that Tyler didn't go to school anymore, where he made his name as an athlete and where his sister graduated as valedictorian. So Humboldt School District confirmed to multiple news outlets that he was a previous student, but no longer attended. We don't know where he was going to school or if the reason he left had anything to do with the charges from his alleged acts earlier in 2022 either. So is Tyler this secret woman-hating sociopath? Or what was really happening here? How do you go from track star to, sexually hurting women, then to murder? Clearly a pattern of escalation, sure, but I can't wrap my mind around how that happens because it seems like everything snowballed and just got worse and worse for Tyler. It's also interesting that the anonymous classmate / coworker said that she was warned to be careful with him. I wonder who told her that, when they did tell her that, and what exactly they meant by it. With Tyler still in the hospital, we hadn't heard if he has been able to tell investigators anything about what had happened. Initial reports revealed Michelle may have died from strangulation and blunt force trauma. More home security footage from Thursday, the day Tyler and Michelle went missing, showed that Michelle arrived home that day at 10:15 a.m. We know that the other footage showed the car leaving at 11:44 a.m. So what happened in that hour and a half between? Whatever happened left quite a scene. So what was Tyler thinking and what was going on? Did he just panic, put her deceased body in the car and go? If not, did she pass away in the car? If Tyler had instead called 911, could she have possibly been saved? And also, what could possibly be Tyler's motive here? He surely had to have known that when his dad got home, he'd be in serious trouble. So where was he heading? It doesn't seem like he had any sort of destination in his mind. It seemed like he was just on the run. So what would have happened if Tyler's dad would have come home just 30 minutes earlier? I wonder what he would have been walking into. Tyler stayed at the hospital, and upon his release, he was extradited back to Texas, like I mentioned before. We don't know the exact details of his injuries, but I really do hope that Tyler's brain was unaffected so that he can't claim that he doesn't know what happened or doesn't remember what happened or isn't of sound mind. On Saturday, October 22nd, Tyler was officially charged with murder.
Sometime between 10:15 and 11:45 last Thursday morning, Michelle Roenz was brutally attacked in her home in Humboldt, according to court records. Her husband showed up around noon to find a grim scene on Birch Arbor Court. Blood and human teeth in the primary bedroom, with a trail of blood out to the garage. The family's Mazda was also missing. Roenz's husband learned using a location tracking app that their 17-year-old son Tyler was home at the time of the attack. His tracking information had been deleted from 10:15 on, according to court records. Nearby surveillance video showed the Mazda leaving the driveway minutes before Roenz's husband had returned. That day, the Harris County Sheriff's Office issued a clear alert for the mother and son, saying they were believed to be in imminent danger. Credit card records track them traveling from Humboldt to North Texas, into Oklahoma, and then to small-town Kansas. Tyler was found in Grand Island, Nebraska on Friday after leading state patrol there on a high-speed chase. His mother's body was found in the trunk of the car. The 49-year-old woman's autopsy shows that she died by strangulation and blunt force trauma, according to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Tyler was taken to the hospital, where he remains tonight.
As I mentioned in the beginning, case studies regarding adolescents killing their parents are vague and kind of unreliable because it's only around 2% of homicides. The sample size is just much too small to draw any sort of actual conclusions from. So take this with a grain of salt because all situations, all people, all circumstances are different. The characteristics definitely aren't one size fits all. And researchers have found that sons that kill their mothers are often immature, passive, and dependent. Further, schizophrenia is common, and there may be an absent father. Now, I don't know if that applies here, any of it, because Tyler's parents are still married and he has a great relationship with his dad. So we don't know what was going on with Tyler mentally or if he had a history of mental illness. Plus, he was a runner. So I'm genuinely not making light of the actions in this case at all. But do you remember in Legally Blonde when Elle said exercising gives you endorphins, endorphins make you happy, and happy people just don't kill their husbands? Which kind of has a point, because happy teens don't kill their mothers. There has to be more than meets the eye with this one, but we just don't have enough information yet to make any sort of sense of it. The article I've been referencing about this statistic, also from Sons to Mothers, also has depicted mothers as domineering, demanding, and possessive. The crimes are generally committed with excessive force, delusional beliefs, threats of separation, and heated arguments. Further, the offense is usually committed at home, and I just covered one of these crimes, I think 2 weeks ago, where it also was committed at home, but the son also went after the father after the fact. And the Menendez brothers, we know that occurred at the home. It's very interesting when you start breaking it all down. And obviously, we don't know the exact dynamic between Michelle, Manfred, and Tyler, so it's hard to speculate which characteristics, if any, are exhibited in this case. We do know that Tyler's sister, Brianna, seemed to thrive while she lived at home. She graduated #1 in her high school class and is on track to go to medical school. So, is it possible that Tyler maybe felt threatened or pressured to perform the same way? What if Tyler couldn't face some type of pressure or inherent comparison that comes along with having siblings? Perhaps Tyler was having other issues at home, the kind of issues like getting arrested for sexually targeting a woman. I can imagine hearing that your 17-year-old son was arrested for SA would be difficult, to say the least. So is it possible that he couldn't handle the disappointment that his mother expressed? Is that why he had such strict rules on when he was allowed to use the car? Would that be enough for Tyler to harbor so much resentment and so much anger over time that he would decide to kill his mother? But wouldn't he be equally mad at both parents if that were the case? Why just the mom? Now, on the other hand, perhaps it had nothing to do with that. Maybe he just snapped one day because of an argument and he just lost control. I don't know if it really seems premeditated to me. It doesn't seem too thought out and too planned here. But again, I'm just speculating. The bottom line is an average 17-year-old doesn't just kill their mother because of disappointment or because of feeling like they are being compared or having an argument. This is the act of someone with criminally high levels of anger. On Tuesday, October 26th, Tyler was released from the hospital and he's currently awaiting extradition back to Texas. Tyler's charges were also updated to include murder and tampering with evidence, specifically a corpse. New information revealed in court documents stated at the scene of the crash that Tyler felt no emotion after they found her body in the trunk. Tyler also admitted that he was home alone with her and that there was not an argument or a fight that morning. But other than that, Tyler didn't tell police about how his mom was injured and only admitted to using his hands. The complaint also revealed that the final autopsy report for Michelle was completed and confirmed strangulation was the cause of death. Specifically, there were ligature marks present on her neck and her hyoid bone was broken. Tyler told officers that his mom did not get into the car trunk by herself and that he had no idea where he was driving, just that he was driving. So I'm assuming that's where the tampering with a corpse comes from. If she didn't get in by herself, could it be because she wasn't alive? Which I think we kind of already expected. And the teeth that were around the house, was that the blunt force trauma to subdue her before he, pounced on her and took her life in such a personal and brutal way? Also, the report revealed that when Tyler's dad got home and couldn't find anyone home, he also called out for the dog, and the dog was nowhere to be found. No word on where that dog is now, but it is not mentioned in the criminal complaint, which I don't want to take it there, but guys, how callous and twisted is that? Is this like the movie Fear? If you have ever seen that, if you haven't, I apologize because it is a truly gruesome and horrifying scene. I'm sure words can't express the amount of sorrow and grief that Manfred and Brianna are experiencing right now, having half of their family unit essentially wiped out in the blink of an eye in just an unspeakable tragedy. I mean, Michelle will no doubt be immensely missed by her community and those closest to her, and how does her family begin to reconcile and heal and just come to terms and cope with the fact that their own son, their own brother, is the one responsible for this? It is evil on an entirely new level. So as I mentioned earlier, there are not a lot of studies and there's not a lot of information out there on this type of homicide and children who target their parents. But these cases are super fascinating because as we talk through them, most of them do occur in the home. Most crimes occur by a male. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. So what is it? Is it that they are overcome with rage? Is it because they're plotting? Is it because there is something going on mentally? It's just very fascinating, and I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Based on the information we have, and based on his history and his track record, do you believe that this was premeditated? Do you believe that this was impulse based on an argument, even though he said they didn't argue, or based on just like a moment of rage where maybe she said he couldn't use the car? Or do you think this is something that had been festering and he had planned to do this? The idea that he fled so quickly and had no real plan of action makes me feel like it was not premeditated, but who's to say? I'm sure that information and his Google search history will be very, very enlightening, to say the least. But I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, so please make sure to leave them in the comments below. Thanks again for tuning in with me today, guys. I hope you appreciated the case coverage. Please continue to keep Brianna and Manfred in your thoughts and prayers as they not only now are mourning and grieving the loss of their, wife and mother, but also coming to terms with who Tyler really is. And as that goes to trial and everything that comes with that, where's the divide and how do you just come to terms with that as a family member? So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and until the next one, stay safe. Bye.